The man kindly helped several college students fix their car, but because one of the students said something, it suddenly angered the man, so the man actually smashed their car window. At this moment, the man deeply regretted helping the college students fix their car, because the college students in front of him were actually accomplices in the murder of his son. The story starts an hour ago. The man was resting at home. Suddenly, a news report about a driver killing a wealthy person was broadcast on TV. The man felt very uneasy. He immediately called his brother. They arranged to meet at a designated place to escape together. That's right. The man was the killer driver mentioned in the news. But unexpectedly, on his way to meet his brother, he happened to encounter 3 college students asking for help. Their car had suddenly broken down on the road, so they asked the man to help fix the car. The man initially didn't want to help, but when he saw how young the students were, he suddenly thought of his deceased son. So the man decided to get out of the car and help. At that moment, the man did not realize that his kind help would not bring gratitude, but would instead cost him dearly. The 2 college students in front of him were a couple. The male student, William, was very respectful. He humbly asked the man to help fix the car, but the other female student, Mary, looked down on the man. She ordered the man to fix the car within 10 minutes. Mary was so arrogant. This was because her family was very wealthy. She thought that as long as she paid the man enough money for the repair, the man should become her servant and serve her. The man thought Mary was crazy. He was about to turn and leave, but the male student humbly begged him to help again. He asked the man to ignore Mary. The man finally softened. He crouched under the car and started fixing it for the students. Meanwhile, Mary and William began chatting on the side. They talked about the recent case of the driver killing the wealthy person. The news had just reported the latest developments in the case. It turned out that the driver didn't intentionally kill the wealthy person. It was because the wealthy person had first hit and killed the driver's son with his car. The driver killed the wealthy person to avenge his son. Then Mary told William an even more explosive news. It turned out that the person killed by the wealthy person was their classmate, Smith. William was both surprised and scared, because he and Mary often bullied Smith at school. What if Smith's father came to take revenge on him? Mary, however, was completely unfazed. They had only bullied a powerless civilian. The driver would never trace it back to them, but they didn't notice that the man who was originally lying under the car had somehow stood up. Mary became a little angry. She ordered the man to continue fixing the car. The man, however, said he had already fixed the car. Now, he only wanted to ask Mary a few questions about Smith. Mary thought the man was just interested in the news, so she casually told him everything. It turned out that during Smith's 4 years in college, Mary and William not only led the entire class to isolate Smith, but also subjected him to campus violence. And they were so extreme. It was all because they wanted Smith to help write their papers, but Smith had refused their request. The man was furious. He wanted to kill Mary, but he restrained his impulsive emotions. In the end, he only smashed Mary's car window. Mary's eyes immediately widened. This luxury car of hers was worth $10 million. The man had casually smashed it. She immediately opened her phone and recorded the footage of the man violently smashing the car. She threatened the man that if he didn't pay, she would call the police. Although the man was unwilling, he didn't want the police to find out, so he gave Mary all the cash he had. To his surprise, Mary didn't even care about the few $100s. She told William to go to the man's car and find something valuable to use as collateral, but William only found an old watch. The man immediately panicked. That watch was the only keepsake Smith had left for him. He immediately demanded it back from Mary. Seeing the urgency on the man's face, she was sure that the watch must be worth a lot. She was even more unwilling to return it to him. She threatened the man with the police again. The man finally fell silent. Mary and William were extremely pleased. They were about to get in their car and leave. Unexpectedly, the man stood in front of their car. Reluctantly, he demanded the watch from Mary again. To his surprise, Mary harshly ordered William to run the man over with the car, because her wealth was enough to get them out of trouble after the incident. After the car was fixed, William completely tore apart his humble disguise. He followed Mary's orders. Without hesitation, he ran the man down. He then got out of the car and took out some gasoline. He set the man's car on fire. In the blazing flames, the couple drove away gracefully, leaving the man lying in pain on the ground. He immediately dialed his brother's number. He asked his brother to come and pick him up. Meanwhile, Mary and William were driving on a rugged mountain road. Suddenly, a large rock got stuck in their car. The car began to lose control inexplicably. Then, it unexpectedly rolled off the cliff. Mary and William were both trapped inside the car. Their phones were all broken. They could only shout loudly to attract the attention of passers-by. Just then, the dark night suddenly flickered with light. Mary thought they were finally going to be rescued. But she didn't know. The man was coming with tools to take his revenge.